So the great Mayor Pete Buttigieg was on CNN, and he had something to say about healthcare. Let's take a look.
Democratic presidential candidate, South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Mayor Buttigieg, thanks as always for joining us. We appreciate it.
Good to be with you.
So I want to start on healthcare. You know that key moment between Vice President Biden and Julian Castro on whether their plans would automatically enroll anyone. You support Medicare for all who want it, but you have not released a full, detailed plan explaining it. Would anyone be automatically enrolled under your proposal if they lost their insurance because they lost a job or for any other reason?
Yes, and you'll see more on that in our forthcoming plan. We need to make sure that we have a vision that gets everybody covered. The difference in my vision of Medicare for all who want it versus the Sanders-Warren vision is I think we can do that and not order Americans onto that public alternative. I actually think the public alternative that we create, that Medicare for all who want it, will probably be better than all of the private plans. I just trust the American people to make that decision for themselves and vote with their feet rather than ordering them to switch plans when they don't want to.
When are you going to release the Medicare for all who want it plan? Soon. A week, a month?
I don't have a date for you, Jake.
Okay. What do you make of the criticisms of people like you or others who don't support embracing Medicare for all from people like Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren who say, you're ignoring the biggest problem here, which is we spend all this money on health insurance more than any other industrialized country because the insurance industry is out for profits, not for making people better?
Well, that's just the point. So if a private plan just can't be as cost effective because the profits are being sucked out of it, then the public plan is going to be better. If it's going to be better and we give people that choice, people are going to choose it. If they're that confident in the superiority of the public plan, why would they find it necessary to command Americans to adopt it instead of just putting it out there? It's just, I guess, a difference in the extent to which we trust people. I do believe that we've got to look at more than just making that available to those. So, the other big issue right now is affordability. And we've got to make sure we're addressing that, whether it's prescription drugs or the healthcare system overall. And as you see our plans continue to unfold, you'll see a lot on that too.
Okay, so that was a terrible answer. That was an atrocious, abominable answer. I mean, this guy is running for the highest office in the country. He's running to be the president of the United States, and he still hasn't put forth a healthcare plan. Dude is asking him, like, do you have a date when you're going to release it? And he's just sitting there like, we didn't have a date. I don't have one. Dude, we're not asking you if you forgot your homework. We're asking you where the fuck your healthcare plan is. I mean, what planet is this guy living on? This shows you the disconnect that you have between these centrist corporate Democrats and working class people in America. People are drowning in medical debt. People can't afford to go to the doctor. And this motherfucker wants to be the president and still can't show you a healthcare plan? There's no excuse for this. There is literally zero justification for this. Zero. Absolutely none. You know what Bernie Sanders has done so far? Bernie Sanders wrote the damn bill for Medicare for all. He's released a Green New Deal legislation, okay? Not the proposition that AOC had. This is an actual bill. He's released a prisoner's Bill of Rights for criminal justice reform. Bernie Sanders is shooting, man. Bernie Sanders is on fire. And this motherfucker can't even announce his healthcare plan? I mean, what planet is he living on? He's up in the clouds. And you know why he does this? I'm going to give you the answer why he does this. It's not that Mayor Pete Buttigieg is stupid. Mayor Pete Buttigieg is very smart. But he doesn't have time to give you a healthcare plan. You know why? Because he's busy kissing corporate donors' asses for money. Okay? He's busy at cocktail parties with rich donors trying to get checks from them for his campaign. That's why Mayor Pete Buttigieg hasn't given you his healthcare plan. Okay? He has much more important things to do, like kiss the bourgeoisie's ass. Okay? Now this guy, he is the number one recipient of donations from billionaires. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you look at the list of billionaire donors regarding each Democratic candidate, this guy has like 25 different billionaire donors. More than Biden and Kamala Harris and all of them. Oh, and guess how many Bernie Sanders has? That's right, 0. You know why? Because Bernie Sanders doesn't take corporate money. Bernie Sanders doesn't waste time at cocktail parties trying to please rich people. Bernie Sanders is out here trying to fight for working class people. He's fighting tooth and nail to make and effectuate real change. So this crappy answer from this corporate shill, I mean, is insulting. It really is insulting. I can't wait till he drops out. I mean, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. He has no chance. He's polling at like 1% or something. No one is interested in him. The only people that are interested in him are rich donors. And there is such a disconnect between those people and regular working class Americans who can't afford healthcare and who want to see a change. You know, the number one issue on voters' minds, it's healthcare. And this guy can't even be bothered to put out a healthcare plan. This is inexcusable. It's inexcusable. Anyone who supports this guy and tells you that that is okay is a delusional twat. End of story. You know, the other thing that he's saying about like, oh, I trust American voters to pick whatever option they want. So what he's saying, basically is that when we see his brilliant plan, eventually, what he's proposing is that we're going to have a two-tier system. Okay, so if you want private insurance, good for you. You can go have private insurance. And if you don't want private insurance, you can go have public Medicare. Okay, so this doesn't work. Let me explain to you why this doesn't work. Because what you're going to have is what private insurance companies already do now. They see, oh, you have a pre-existing condition? Yeah, we don't want you. So what they're going to do is basically tell you to go and sign up for the public option. And they're going to dump all the sick people onto the public option. So they're only going to keep healthy people. But that's not the point of an insurance. Insurance is that when I get sick, I go to the doctor. Do you understand what I'm saying? They are only interested in making profits. They're not interested in helping you when you're sick. So what they're going to do is they're going to offload all the cost onto the taxpayer while not giving anyone any care and still being allowed to operate and just make profits off of healthy people. This doesn't work. This is fundamentally flawed. Okay? And the other thing that he never mentions is drug prices. What about the drug prices? Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All bill allows the government to negotiate drug prices and put caps so that the drug prices can't price gouge people. They can't make a drug $6 today and then the next day it's $1,000, which is what they're doing over and over, even when taxpayers fund the research for that drug. Before all the libertarians and right-wingers go, oh, that's just a product that they researched. No, they didn't. They used public-funded research to make drugs, then they patent it and sell it back at 10 times the cost. This is price gouging. It is illegal in other countries for a good reason. And he never mentions that. So Mayor Pete Buttigieg, okay, the protege of the rich donor class, doesn't care about making sure that you can afford insulin or you can afford your prescription drugs. He doesn't care about mental illness, okay? If you guys have paid attention, Prozac, a generic brand of Prozac, the price was raised like something like 300% back in April. Mayor Pete Buttigieg doesn't care you have mental illness and you can't afford antidepressants or you can't go to therapy. He doesn't give a shit, okay? Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All bill covers everything. It is a universal coverage, and it doesn't allow duplicit care. Okay, so what they're trying to say is basically that if the government covers dental, eye care, mental health, etc., no private companies can do it. They can only add supplemental coverage. If you want a nose job, for example, then you can go and do that. You're free to go do that. But we can't have this duplicit system, this two-tier system where the private health insurance companies, which are only interested in profits, offload all the sick patients onto the taxpayer and then just are allowed to operate and make money off of healthy people. That's not going to work, okay? I mean, every other major country on earth has figured this out. They've figured out a fair way to do this, and this milquetoast corporate centrist is going to come along here and think that he's going to get working class people to vote for him when he represents no one. Who does this guy represent? I'm still trying to figure it out. You know, he's sitting there buck-toothed and smiling like, yeah, I don't have a date for it. You know, like, dude, do you even take your own campaign seriously? How the hell are you running for president and you don't have a healthcare plan? I mean, this is completely unjustifiable. That's all I have to say. His other stances about like, oh, you know, the war in Afghanistan and what? Dude, you're a veteran, right? And he tries to bring that up all the time. Like, oh, I served in Afghanistan and I know because I'm the only veteran up on stage. No, you're not. Listen, Tulsi Gabbard is also a veteran. She uses her experiences and her service to show people that she is anti-war. She's trying to tell people that, like, yo, look, I served in combat. I know what the cost of war is. We don't need these useless offensive regime change wars. This guy, of course not. You know why? Because those kind of things don't please the donor class. That kind of rhetoric doesn't please the military industrial complex. And this guy only wants to curry favor with rich people. That's why he has 25 different billionaire donors donating to his campaign. That's why all the rich people want him to win, because they know that if this guy gets into office, he's going to do what they want. And you know what's another issue? The whole racism stuff. This guy runs a town of 100,000 people. Dude, that's like one district in New York, okay? That's nothing. You have no... Look, I don't want to disqualify someone automatically because of the no experience argument, but listen, man, you couldn't even run that town properly, okay? His police department is in shambles. The local residents are tired of him not firing racist police officers in the department. You know, some guy was shot and killed recently, and Buttigieg held a town hall, and he got yelled at because his constituents are sick of his bullshit. And of course, he just sits there and say, "Yeah, I care about you, and I care about racism and black people, but I'm not going to fire my racist police officers because I don't really care about black people." That's Buttigieg. He doesn't care about people of color, all right? If this guy had any stones on him, he would immediately fire anyone who kills an unarmed civilian, especially blacks who are being shot all over the goddamn country. He has no backbone.